He's more at peace with himself. He's beginning to realize that he hasn't been totally shortchanged in his duel with Babe Ruth.
The thing that people should know about Henry is how good a player he was, how good an all-around player he was. That's one of the most overlooked aspects of his career.
When you look at Hank Aaron's career, you can see a steady trail of white guilt. And you know that white guilt existed because on the 25th anniversary, when he broke Babe Ruth's record for 714, all of a sudden they're doing all these things.
One of the things that all good hitters have to deal with is people say, oh, he was just gifted. He wasn't just gifted. He worked and worked and worked to get where he was.
Drove in more runs than Lou Gehrig, scored more runs than Willie Mays, and had over 12 more miles in total bases than the runner-up, Stan Musial.
In America's mind, Babe's still the king, you know, but in the minds of us that play baseball, that are in baseball, Hank is the king, and you know, he'll always be the king.
Why did baseball take so long, though, to reach out to Hank Aaron? I don't think Hank was ready in the past to reach out to anyone. He wouldn't have appreciated it. He wouldn't have felt good about himself. He wouldn't have felt good about the award that they're named after him and for him.
Maybe right now that we're talking is Henry Aaron right now in baseball. I think he's able to wait and keep his hands back and swing real quick at the ball.
I think he expected more out of what he was doing and what he got, but he would never tell you that and he would never express it.
When you talk to Aaron, I think you understand the depth of how it really affected him and the bitterness and the anger.
Hank Aaron was subject to the interpretation of the white press, like so many other black athletes, calling them natural athletes.
3-1 pitch. There's a drive into left field. That ball is going, and out of here. Henry Aaron has just tied Babe Ruth in the all-time home run parade.
I don't know that Henry is bitter, but why he should be.
For nearly 4 decades, Babe Ruth's home run record hung in the national consciousness like a sacred object.
He burned with this hard, gem-like flame that was constant. And as a result, you can't disparage his numbers by saying he played so long.
See, that was the one thing that you didn't do. You just didn't beat Ruth.
Hardcore baseball fan sort of resented seeing Babe Ruth's name come down, and there are a lot of them who didn't like the fact that it was a black player doing it.
That was the year I honestly believed that he would have hit 400. He was getting at least 2 hits in almost every game.
I think people get the fact that he hit the home runs, but they don't understand the sacrifice. They don't understand the human sacrifice, the toll that it took, and what it took for him to not blow up.
I would say he was like the lost sheep of the great ones. He never got that great of attention.
Well, I think he contributed the same sort of thing DiMaggio did. There was a quiet excellence there. There was no ostentation.
I didn't feel a thing. Hank told me, you know, that what he's gonna do. He said, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna get this over with right now.
He was such a low-key guy that, you know, me being from New York, and maybe they overshadowed him at that particular time.
Mickey Mantle, the New York Yankees legend, once said something that shocked the baseball world. As far as I'm concerned, Aaron is the best ball player of my era. He is to baseball of the last 15 years what Joe DiMaggio was before him. This was not just any compliment. This was a rival admitting defeat. But here's the mystery. Why did the greatest home run king receive death threats instead of celebration? Today, you will hear the story that Chipper Jones tells about being drafted, the terrifying advice about facing Bob Gibson, and Muhammad Ali's ultimate compliment. Drop a comment. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of baseball? Let us start where legends are born. Mickey Mantle did not give compliments easily. He was a New York Yankees superstar, a 3-time most valuable player, and a World Series champion. When he spoke those words in 1970 to Baseball Digest, it shocked people. He said Aaron was to baseball what Joe DiMaggio had been before him. Then Mantle added something that revealed a painful truth. Hank Aaron has never received the credit he is due. Why did Mantle say this? Aaron played in Milwaukee and Atlanta, not the massive New York market. He was not flashy like Willie Mays. He was not controversial like Babe Ruth. Aaron was steady excellence instead of spectacular moments. Consider this contrast. Mantle hit 47 home runs in his best single season. Aaron never hit more than 47 in any season. Yet Aaron finished with 755 career home runs, while Mantle had 536. Consistency beat flash every time. Even Pete Rose, known as Charlie Hustle for his relentless work ethic, had to admit Aaron's superiority. Rose once said that Willie Mays could throw better and Hank Aaron could hit more home runs. But Rose had enthusiasm, desire, and hustle. Those were his gifts from God. When Pete Rose, the man who defined hustle, admits someone else had natural superiority, that means something profound. In 2021, after Aaron passed away, Rose said something simple and beautiful. Henry was the type of guy you played against, but pulled for him, because he was such a great guy. Even rivals bowed down to consistency and class. But rivals only saw him from across the field. His teammate saw something else entirely. Eddie Mathews was already an established star when a 20-year-old rookie named Hank Aaron joined the Milwaukee Braves in 1954. Mathews later recalled those early days with warmth. He said that at the start, Hank was not the home run hitter he eventually became. They were both young players with stars in their eyes. What could have been jealousy became something beautiful instead. It became a friendly rivalry. Aaron himself explained their success simply. They were not jealous of each other at all, and that was one reason they were so successful. The numbers tell an incredible story. Together, Mathews and Aaron hit 863 home runs as teammates. That record still stands today. They beat even the legendary partnership of Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig by nearly 100 home runs. This was not just about statistics. This was brotherhood in competition. By 1973, Mathews had become the manager of the Atlanta Braves. Aaron was chasing Babe Ruth's sacred record of 714 home runs. Mathews made a prediction that would prove prophetic. He said he did not know where Hank would break Ruth's record, but he knew one thing. 10 years from the day he hit it, 3 million people would say they were there. The moment arrived on April 8, 1974. Mathews was right. But there was one teammate who got closer than anyone, close enough to see Aaron's darkest moments. In 1967, a young athlete named Dusty Baker had one prayer. Please do not let the Atlanta Braves draft me. He did not want to go to the Deep South. There was racial unrest, riots, and freedom marches happening across the region. The next morning, he received the call. The Braves had selected him. Baker thought God had not heard his prayer. But something remarkable happened next. Hank Aaron made a promise to Baker's mother. He told her he would take care of her son like his own. And Aaron kept that promise. He made Baker go to church every Sunday. He insisted on proper meals and reasonable bedtimes. For a young man who wanted freedom, it felt strict. Looking back, Baker realized it was the best thing that ever happened to him. But the most powerful lesson came from what Baker found in the trash. During road trips, Aaron would receive letters. Sometimes he would crumple them up and throw them away. When Aaron left the room, Baker would sneak over and read those letters. He was shocked by what he found. They were filled with hatred and threats. Aaron had to maintain 2 hotel rooms on the road. One was for his bodyguard. The other was registered under a different name. This was 1973 and 1974, when Aaron was chasing Ruth's record as a black man in America. Baker learned something profound. If Aaron was strong enough to handle that pressure, then he needed to be strong too. Decades later, Baker still says that Aaron was second only to his father. Aaron did not just teach life lessons. He taught survival tactics against the most terrifying force in baseball. Young Dusty Baker was on a hot streak. He had a 17-game hitting streak going. Then he learned he would face Bob Gibson, the most intimidating pitcher in baseball. Aaron pulled him aside and delivered a warning that Baker would never forget. Aaron told him, "Do not dig in against Bob Gibson. He will knock you down. He would knock down his own grandmother if she dared to challenge him. Do not stare at him. Do not smile at him. Do not talk to him. He does not like it. If you happen to hit a home run, do not run too slow and do not run too fast. If you want to celebrate, get in the tunnel first. And if he hits you, do not charge the mound because he is a Golden Glove boxer." Baker listened to this detailed battle plan and thought about his hitting streak. That night, the streak ended. The advice was specific because Aaron understood something crucial. He knew the psychology of every pitcher he faced. Against Sandy Koufax, Aaron hit 362 with 7 home runs. Of all the great hitters who faced Koufax regularly, Aaron was his toughest challenge. Against Bob Gibson, Aaron hit only 215, but still managed 8 home runs. The difference was not fear, it was strategy. Aaron told Chipper Jones years later that he feared no man when he had a bat in his hand. That mindset, that absolute confidence at the plate, would echo through generations. That philosophy would change one young player's entire career. The year was 1990. The Atlanta Braves held the #1 pick in the Major League Baseball draft. Inside the war room, scouts and executives were split down the middle. Half wanted Todd Van Poppel, a promising pitcher. The other half wanted Chipper Jones, a talented shortstop from Florida. The debate grew heated. Nobody could agree. Then the vote came around to Hank Aaron, who was working as a team executive. The room went silent. Aaron paused. He looked at everyone gathered there. Then he said 5 words that changed baseball history. "You all better draft that Jones boy." When Aaron spoke, people listened. The Braves selected Chipper Jones. Todd Van Poppel went on to have a disappointing career, finishing with a record of 40 wins and 52 losses. Chipper Jones became a Hall of Famer who spent his entire career with the Braves. Years later, Jones admitted the truth. He would not be where he was without Hank Aaron. But Aaron gave Jones more than just a career. He gave him a philosophy. Jones once asked Aaron about his fearlessness at the plate. Aaron told him something simple but profound. "Chipper, I fear no man when I have a bat in my hand." This was the same mindset Aaron used facing Bob Gibson, facing Babe Ruth's ghost, and facing the racism that threatened his life. When Aaron passed away in 2021, Jones said that Aaron had every right to be angry, but he never was. He spread his grace on everything and everyone. That grace under pressure would face its ultimate test in 1973. As Aaron closed in on 714 home runs in 1973 and 1974, something dark happened. Death threats arrived daily. Hate mail flooded in. Dusty Baker witnessed it all. Aaron needed 2 hotel rooms on every road trip. One room was for his bodyguard. The other was registered under a fake name for Aaron himself. This was not paranoia. This was survival. Aaron later described his isolation during this period. He said that even though he was accomplishing something great, nobody wanted to be a part of it. He felt thrown to the wolves. Congressman Andrew Young watched it all and later said that through his long career, Aaron had been a model of humility, dignity, and quiet competence. Then came April 8, 1974, at 9:07 in the evening. 53,775 fans packed the stadium. Hal Downing threw a 1-0 pitch. Aaron sent it into the left field bullpen. Home run number 715. Eddie Mathews' prediction was coming true. Muhammad Ali was watching. The boxing legend later said that Hank Aaron was the only man he idolized more than himself. But Aaron did not celebrate wildly. He ran the bases with quiet dignity. He just wanted to move forward. The record stood for 33 years, until Barry Bonds broke it in 2007. Aaron could have been bitter. Instead, he recorded a gracious video message congratulating Bonds. He said his hope was that this achievement would inspire others to chase their own dreams. From breaking records to breaking barriers, Aaron's impact reached beyond numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. 755 home runs, a record that stood for 33 years. 2,297 runs batted in. That record still stands today. 6,856 total bases. Nobody has come close. 25 All-Star selections, a monument to consistency. But the real record was something different. 0 compromises on dignity. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said it perfectly. Hank Aaron belongs on the sports Mount Rushmore. He stood above all others, on and off the field. Remember when Mickey Mantle said Aaron never received the credit he deserved? The truth is, Aaron received something better than credit. He earned universal respect. Rivals praised him. Teammates protected him. Young players became like sons to him. Even the man who broke his record honored him with deep reverence. Dusty Baker, now in his 70s, still asks himself one question when facing challenges. What would Hank do? That is legacy. In 2002, President George W. Bush awarded Aaron the Presidential Medal of Freedom. On January 22, 2021, Hank Aaron passed away. But his philosophy lives on. In a sport obsessed with individual glory, Hank Aaron proved something timeless. The greatest power is not in your swing, it is in your character. Share this story with someone who needs to hear about real strength. Comment below. What lesson from Hank Aaron will you carry forward? And remember, fear no challenge when you have purpose in your heart.